and I see that this guy came to your show and he brought a friendship bracelet and wants to meet you. And so, of course, I call up my resident expert on Kansas City Chiefs, my cousin Robin, and I go, tell me about this guy named Travis Kelce. He's really cute.
You said something to the effect of, like, you gotta start doing something different.
From mom-approved side-eyes to football chaos and almost retirements, this saga has everything. First up, Swifties lose their minds dissecting Andrea Swift's very telling vibes about Travis Kelce and what they might mean for Taylor's past.
The nicest guy, and you know what? He really loves his mom.
Then, attention turns to Jason Kelce and his mysterious role in what could be the wedding of the decade.
Tell if there is one or anything like that. I've been given no details on that front.
And then, things get messy as Patrick Mahomes' injury triggers a massive Christmas headache for Amazon. Finally, we get into how Taylor Swift quietly talked Travis out of retiring. Swifties are once again doing what they do best, zooming in, slowing down, replaying, overanalyzing, and then overanalyzing the overanalysis. This time, the internet microscope is pointed squarely at Andrea Swift, Taylor Swift's mom, after the latest episodes of the Eras Tour, the End of an Era documentary, dropped, and casually sent fandom group chats into full detective mode. The question lighting up timelines is simple but spicy. Did Andrea Swift not vibe with Joe Alwyn at all? And is she now openly Team Travis Kelce? The documentary doesn't exactly scream drama, but Andrea's energy does all the talking. Fans notice immediately how warm, enthusiastic, and downright glowing she sounds when she talks about Travis. And let's just say the contrast feels noticeable. To Swifties, it feels less like praise and more like a soft launch of hindsight judgment. The kind that says, I never said I disliked him, but I'm definitely saying I like this one way more. Andrea recalls how she first clocked Kelce when headlines popped up about him attending Taylor's show with a friendship bracelet and a very clear mission. Instead of brushing it off, she went full mom mode FBI, quietly checking in with family to get the vibe.
I'm looking at the headlines of perusing around what's on the internet, and I see that this guy came to your show and he brought a friendship bracelet and wants to meet you. And so, of course, I call up my resident expert on Kansas City Chiefs, my cousin Robin, and I go, tell me about this guy named Travis Kelce.
After looping in cousin Robin, the report came back glowing. Andrea shared that Robin described Kelce as incredibly nice and, crucially, a man who genuinely loves his mom. At that point, Swifties collectively nodded because, yes, that detail alone would win over any mom.
And she goes, oh my God, he's the nicest guy. And you know what? He really loves his mom.
What really sent fans spiraling, though, was Andrea's advice to Taylor to try something different. Not louder, not bigger, just different.
He's really cute.
You said something to the effect of, like, you gotta start doing something different.
To the fandom, that line felt loaded. Taylor's past relationship with Joe Alwyn had been long, private, and famously guarded. Add in a brief, chaotic detour with Maddie Healy, and suddenly Andrea's suggestion sounded less like general life advice and more like a polite rewrite of history. Andrea goes on to describe Travis as earnest and sweet in a way that feels almost aggressively mom-approved. She talks about the happiness he brings into rooms, how his energy lifts people, and how that joy seems to ripple outward wherever he goes.
So earnest. I thought it was the sweetest thing in the world that he came to your show.
Yeah.
He brought you something from your world.
Yeah.
To me, that really said a lot.
Fans clocked the fact that Andrea didn't speak this way about Taylor's past partners, at least not on camera, and the silence now feels loud. Meanwhile, Taylor also opened up about her own struggles, reflecting on how relationships and touring had never peacefully coexisted for her. She explained that being on tour always felt like it pulled energy away from her relationships, no matter how hard she tried to balance both worlds. She admitted she kept trying and trying, but it never quite worked, which fans instantly connected back to her years-long relationship with Alwyn. Put all of this together, and Swifties see a pattern forming. Andrea didn't bash anyone, didn't name names, and didn't throw shade outright, but her tone, her words, and her enthusiasm for Travis, compared to her carefully neutral stance on the past, spoke volumes. To fans, it reads like a mom quietly thinking, this one finally gets it. And while Taylor's inner circle has everyone decoding vibes and energy shifts, the spotlight now slides smoothly from mom-approved happiness to the other side of the aisle, where the Kelce family is gearing up for what insiders are already whispering will be the wedding event that might briefly break the internet. With the big day looming somewhere in the not-too-distant future, curiosity has officially shifted to Travis's brother Jason, because let's be real, every iconic wedding needs that one sibling who might steal the show without even trying. Jason Kelce, human golden retriever energy in a 6'3" NFL body, recently popped up on morning TV and instantly became the internet's favorite evasive speaker. When hosts nudged him about whether he was prepping for best man duties, Jason basically responded with the verbal equivalent of a shrug and a grin. He kept things deliberately foggy, making it clear that if there was a plan, he wasn't on the email chain. He hinted that whether a speech, surprise, or chaotic brother moment happens is still firmly in the universe's hands, not his.
Tell if there is one or anything like that. I've been given no details on that front.
Jason genuinely seems thrilled just to be included in whatever capacity that ends up being. He radiates proud older brother energy, the kind that says he's less concerned about spotlight moments and more about watching his little brother live his rom-com dreams.
However I'm involved, I'll be happy to be, and I'm just happy for those two.
That said, fans aren't buying the I Know Nothing act entirely, mostly because Jason has a long-standing reputation for being both wildly sincere and hilariously incapable of keeping secrets for more than 5 minutes. The brotherly bond between Jason and Travis has always been strong, bordering on aggressively wholesome. Jason had previously stood by Travis as best man before, so expectations were immediately sky high that history would repeat itself.
I'm gonna fire up something a lot better. We're gonna do a lot more planning.
Yeah.
I gotta be good. I gotta be good at this. Well, first of all, hopefully I'm the best man. We'll see. Trav has a lot of friends. I'm just hoping to get the opportunity.
Right.
But this time around, the stakes are different. The spotlight is brighter, and the guest list likely reads like a chaotic crossover episode between the Grammys and the Super Bowl. Naturally, social media wasted zero time turning Jason's vague comments into a full-blown theory fest. Some fans joked that the Kelce family deliberately keeps him out of the loop because the man leaks joy like a busted fire hydrant. Others pointed out that the brothers' closeness means whatever role Jason plays, it'll come with equal parts emotion and unfiltered humor. There's also a strong belief floating around that even if Jason doesn't deliver a traditional speech, he'll still find a way to emotionally ambush everyone in attendance with a perfectly timed, unexpectedly heartfelt moment. And just as fans were busy picturing flower arrangements, guest lists, and which Kelce brother might actually make everyone cry, the universe abruptly hit the brakes and swerved straight into chaos. Because over in NFL land, Christmas plans have gone spectacularly sideways. Amazon had rolled out the red carpet for what was supposed to be a shiny, star-powered Christmas Day football extravaganza, banking hard on the Patrick Mahomes-Travis Kelce combo to deliver festive touchdowns and subscription spikes. Instead, the whole thing has turned into a very expensive lump of coal, somewhere in the ballpark of a $70 million headache. When the NFL schedule first dropped months ago, this matchup looked like a streaming executive's dream scenario. You've got a heated divisional rivalry, playoff implications, and the league's most recognizable quarterback paired with one of its biggest personalities. It was basically designed to scream "subscribe now" from every device known to mankind. Amazon's Prime Video team circled that date, highlighted it, and probably toasted to it with something bubbly. Fast forward to now, and reality has chosen violence. Kansas City's season has unraveled, playoff hopes are officially cooked, and the real gut punch came when Mahomes suffered a brutal knee injury that ended his season entirely. That moment was the exact second Amazon's Christmas magic evaporated. Without Mahomes under center, the game loses its sparkle, its stakes, and frankly, its entire personality. What was supposed to be a nail-biting showdown has now turned into what football fans politely call a dead rubber, which is just a fancy way of saying everyone's showing up because they have to, not because it matters. And that's a tough sell when you've paid superstar money for superstar drama that never arrives. Amazon isn't alone in this holiday headache either. Streaming rivals are dealing with similar issues, as injuries and underperforming teams have sucked the life out of multiple Christmas matchups. Last year's holiday games pulled massive numbers and set expectations sky high, but insiders suggest those records are sitting very comfortably this season. The sting hits harder for Amazon because this game was meant to be a centerpiece of its growing NFL empire, alongside Thursday night games and the newly minted Christmas Showcase. Even with top-tier production, fancy graphics, and commentary teams bringing their A-game, There's no replacing the gravitational pull of Mahomes doing Mahomes things. Behind the scenes, Mahomes' injury marked a full-on turning point. Surgery followed quickly, rehab timelines stretch well into next year, and Kansas City's once automatic playoff presence is officially on pause. The torch now passes to backup quarterbacks to close out the season, while Travis Kelce remains on the field doing what he can, though insiders admit his impact naturally shifts without his longtime quarterback partner orchestrating the chaos. And with that chaos swirling around the field, the story quietly pivots from what went wrong this season to why Travis Kelce decided he wasn't done just yet, because retirement talks suddenly enter the chat in a very real way. After that brutal Super Bowl loss earlier this year, Travis genuinely stared into the football abyss and wondered if it was time to hang it up for good. 12 seasons deep, miles on the body, and a season-ending loss like that will do that to a guy. The defeat rattled him more than he let on publicly. The idea of walking away didn't come from boredom or burnout, but from feeling like maybe the story had peaked. That's where Taylor Swift stepped in, not with a dramatic speech or a pep rally, but with a steady, grounded encouragement that made him rethink the exit ramp. The two talked it out like an actual couple, weighing legacy, timing, and whether walking away on a loss would ever really sit right with him. According to people close to them, Taylor strongly leaned toward the idea that Travis shouldn't end his career on a low note. The vibe was less keep playing forever, and more you deserve a better final chapter than this. That perspective stuck. Instead of making an emotional heat-of-the-moment decision, Travis chose to come back for one more year and see it through. Stat-wise, he's still very much doing his thing. Even in a rough season, he's leading the team in receptions and yards, proving that retirement talk isn't coming from decline, but from circumstance. Still, the football gods have not been gentle. Losses piled up, playoff hopes disappeared, and the season took another hit when his longtime quarterback went down, shifting the entire dynamic of the team. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.